Got it. Alrighty, so welcome back to the long-awaited PokeDads MetaCall. I'm your host, PokeDad Intern Drew, on TCG.
Oh my
With me
god,
today, as
Pokedad
always,
Rick, it's
is...
been a hot minute. What's up, everybody?
God, I love hearing
My
your
my
voice.
voice
It's
is
been
so
weeks.
raspy from the convention on Saturday. It was like constantly talking, and I'd be at work today, and I'd be like, yeah,
The
yeah. So
squeakiest
I'm not
guy.
sick. My voice is just shot for using it a lot over the weekend.
Right on. Well, it's good to hear it at any capacity. So what we brought you to you today are some championship-winning decks from the Milan special event, as well as the Santiago regional and the Melbourne regional, and we're gonna kind of dive into the number one plays in decks and all of those championships. And the first one we're gonna talk about is Tord Reklev's Urshifu list at the Milan special event. And this one was really cool because he came so close with an identical list at the previous events. And the fact that he made top cut in a completely different field, again, and mind you, this was before Astral Radiance was legal, and just kind of showed up and won with the tried and true Bears, man.
I'm not impressed whatsoever. Sorry, I was yawning and he just stops. No, exactly. It's incredible of just adjusting his deck for. It was literally the week later. You know, he became a finalist the week prior, and then last week, well, yeah, not this past week, but the weekend before, he comes out, adds a little Celebi amazing rare action, and the deck is totally different. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and he actually took the final KO in the final game with Celebi, which is bonkers. And for those who are listening, Celebi is the amazing rare Pokemon that came out of Vivid Voltage. And for one grass energy, it does energy press for 30 times damage, and this attack does 30 damage for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this is really just to handle opposing Galarian Moltres and Hoopa, or Hoopa V, that is, which proves to be very problematic to things like bears because they don't have an immediate answer to those grass weak Pokemon.
But boom, add that. Add one energy, one grass energy,
Yep.
and pray to the Pokegods that it works out in your favor.
Yeah, well, he's got the two Sonya again, and still only has the one full art and the one regular art, which is just I've grown accustomed to, I
Because
guess,
you know
after
that's
seeing
how
it
he
for
looks
so
for it,
long.
man. He's like
And then
one or two
two,
is missing. That's how he knows.
I I I can't even take it away from you at this point, but he also plays two straight up energy search trainers. So at any given point in the game, he's able to shady deal for the energy necessary to pull off the Celebi play. So a lot of outs to that, which is super cool. Other than that, a lot of one ofs in terms of supporters, and yeah, it's cool to see
Yeah,
Bears
it kind of
win a
has a
regional.
feel of Pikarom a little bit. Um, Comes down, comes back up. It's like you can't keep because you know the attack is just so great. You know when you're, I know Mew is out
Mm-hmm.
there, but there's ways for this deck to survive the Mew matchup, and I really enjoy. I guess I'm really enjoying how Shady Dealings is kind of involved near the end of this meta that we're going through, or we still have 6 months of who knows. That we're going from instead of like four Drizzles and three Inteleons, we're going down to three and twos lately, so they can fit in more into the deck, and
Mm-hmm.
it seems to be working well with for a lot of players. So I like to see that even at like this late, people are getting a little ballsy, and you're like, you know what? I'm going to cut this so I can add a couple more cards, and it's working the players' favor for sure.
Yeah, no, I like the list. I like the tech in of the Galarian Moltres. Just a lot of answers to a lot of different decks in the format, and you know, GG's Tord. You deserved it for sure.
I better see
And
him in
now
the
we're gonna
top
go
eight at
to
least in the
the
worlds, right? Like
Santiago
he better get
regional.
there.
I have it on pretty good terms that Tord's gonna compete very heavily at Worlds. It's gonna be sick to see what he shows up with after Astral Radiance. It'll probably
He's
be
like
Mew.
suckers.
uh, And speaking of Mew, so we're on to the Santiago regionals, and the paper list wasn't created for us, but given that it was the last Astral Radiance, not Astral Radiance, last Brilliant Stars only format, and Mew took the very first regional win in this format, and it has taken the very last. And this list is maybe one or two cards off of that championship winning list, but it's Mew VMAX, everybody. Woohoo.
Yeah, I like it. It was just like, it's basic. I had a good time. Let's just go with it. I was seeing if he did the changes to add the Marnie, but he didn't. So
No, there was no Marnie in that particular list. What I heard was it was a split count of Rotom Phone and Fog Crystal, and I think that testing group actually did very, very well in that whole regional. So this is a mimic of a person who was in the same testing group as that first place finisher. So I didn't see a Marnie when I was watching the playback of those streams, but this one seems pretty identical to it. High quick ball, high ultra ball count. It's, at any given moment, you want to be able to thin your hand down to draw with Genesect. Playing one choice belt is kind of different than a lot of the Mew lists that we've seen, but I understand that it's completely circumstantial, and you only need to hit math against things that aren't weak or things that are 270 HP.
What's fun is during a con over the weekend, I played against Mew like 500 times because it's just a really easy deck to explain to people. Outside that, they try to use Genesect wrong, which is kind of frustrating. I have to be like, no. It's like, you get to draw as many Fusion Strikes you have, not until you have 6 cards in your hand. It's like, that's your max if you had 6 Fusion Strike out. And they're like, oh. I was like, yeah. And then they'll do it, and it's still wrong. And I'm like, oh, I hate this deck.
Yep.
Yeah, myself, soon to be me. So.
Yeah, though that'll be really, really cool for you. But yeah, cool. Sick to see Mew, hopefully get its last.
What are you talking about? It's better than ever now. It's better than ever.
Yeah, but I think that there's just more dark options in the format right now that'll make it.
I'm not even thinking about that. I'm just thinking about the best deck supposedly in format is like counterintuitive on this deck because Mew needs to fill its bench, and then Palkia's like, I want you to fill your bench. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just don't bench anything. You'll be
I
fine.
would like to draw cards. I don't. I have nothing out. Yeah, that's great.
Just play for Marnie. You'll be fine. Alrighty. So now we're gonna go to the first Astral Radiance legal regional that we've had, and guess what? Palkia made top 8. Not only did Palkia make top 8, but Palkia was top 8 in Melbourne.
I had a good chuckle on Twitter about it. It's like, yeah, who did not see that come? Yeah.
No, I mean, you take this information with a grain of salt, but it is a smaller, more condensed player field. There was a record high 195 players at this regional, and even Salt Lake City had more players than that. So, and that was considered one of the smaller regionals that we had this entire tournament season. But yeah, man, Palkia is good. We knew Suicune was good, and hitting more damage with that, with the same exact similar archetype, plus Irida, which makes Shady Dealings an absolute cheat code, just really proves that water and Shady Dealings is very,
are you
very
sure this was the winner?
Format.
I thought the winner was the
No, this was top 8. I was talking about second place, and then we're gonna talk about the fun version after this one. No, you're chilling, bro. You're chilling. It was all based on inclusion. Yeah, but this one playing 3 Irida, playing the Block Face Ice Cube, which does 70 damage and doesn't take any damage from basic Pokemon, is a tech specifically for the Regis, which is silly.
I liked Regis for a lot of reasons. So.
Yep. So just watch out for Block Face. There's still not a whole lot you could do to get around it, unfortunately, because you're only a basic Pokemon. Yeah, and this was the second place list in Melbourne, and the first place list is this new Turbo archetype. And Rick, why don't you go ahead and take it away and talk
All right,
about what
there's a
makes
lot of things
Turbo
that
so
make this thing
busted?
busted. One of them is that the small count of Palkia is just a 2-2. And then there's so many different outs that you want to do. And one of them is the psychic Pokemon that I forgot its name that prevents boss's orders or anything to bring forward a Pokemon that you're building on the bench. So when you're getting basic, is it just basic?
Basics.
Oh,
Just blocks basics.
well,
You could
that's
still boss
lame.
evolution
Oh,
Pokemon.
anyways, no, I'm joking. It's not lame. It's not. But the high count of Celebrations Mew is awesome. Got that Jirachi feel to it. So you're pulling it out, looking at the 6 cards and looking for item cards. We knew that this card will be powerful, especially once Shady Dealing is up. But to just ignore that and just go with it seems to work in its benefit because all you're doing is grabbing our boy Drew's favorite card and just chuck through the deck as quickly as possible. So, and that's the whatever shoes.
Check and shoes. Good old check and shoes allow you to draw a card, and if you don't like it, put it in your discard pile and draw another card. And that really, really does help you just kind of chew through your resources really fast. It helps you dig a little bit deeper than Jirachi was able to let you do. Hear me out though. You're able to look at the top.
6.
What is it? 7 with Mew.
Yeah.
And they can only. Is it 6? It might be 6. You're probably right there. You're able to look at the top 6 with Mew, grab an item card. It doesn't grab supporters and stadiums like Jirachi did, but in most instances, you're going in and you grab trekking shoes. And then when you grab trekking shoes, you can grab anything, or you decide you don't like it, and you just kind of rinse and repeat that engine with Scoop Up Net and your air balloons, and being able to kind of just rotate this, I don't know, discount Jirachi engine, and it's really cool. And at the end of your whole sequence, if you don't feel like you have the resources, you just promote Diancie and sit back a turn and don't evolve anything.
And I also like the one of having the baby Suicune. Well, not the baby, but having the smaller hits out there too, so they're able to work with each other. I was like thinking that would be like a normal thing in Palkia to begin with, to be able to have 2 Pokemon that do massive damage from benching Pokemon. So it's good to see that works. And seeing 2 heavy balls is interesting. I know a lot of people tend to just play 1, but to rock 2 to protect you from any basics that get caught up is really nice. I'll tell you this though, it's really nice to play it and then just see what I have in my prizes, and then I don't have to remember things.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like, prize mapping is pretty hard when you have your 46 cards at the end of drawing your hand and putting your prizes down or something like that. It's a lot easier when you can just look at the 6 with Hazui and Heavy Ball. And not to mention, if you have a basic Pokemon like a Mew or a Crobat, you just get to put it straight into your hand, and you can utilize it the turn that you grab it out of your prizes. And that's super multifaceted. And for a lot of players that have issues with always prizing the things that are necessary, put in a Heavy Ball.
And then you don't have to grab your prizes from the bottom. When you're on that big old world of being streamed, you could look at it, put them back, and then grab what you need. It's stupid.
No, it is definitely different. But the whole core of the deck, because Origin Palkia V-Star has that wonderful V-Star ability that allows you to, I think it's called Star Portal, if you will, and you take 3 basic water energy and accelerate them to your water Pokemon any way you like. So out of the blue, you can set up Radiant Greninja, Starmie V, Suicune V, or even attack with Lumineon and shuffle it back into the deck for later use. And it's really cool because you're like, oh, a 2 Melanie count, that seems like it wouldn't be effective, but Suicune, Starmie, and Palkia only need 2 energy to operate efficiently. And I think this deck just has a lot of answers. I think you're going to see a lot of builds with this whole Mew Diancie trekking shoes in the future, and it might pose a big threat on how things look in Milwaukee. Yeah. So pack your cross switchers.
Maybe.
Yeah, it gets around antsy.
I thought I had one more thing. I just love Greninja, by the way. I love everything about that card.
Yeah.
Especially in this deck, like when you're just throwing away the energies and making sure you can use the star power of Palkia later. Feels like I'm cheating. But fun little note, because the cards were in Japanese for my proxy deck, for some reason I kept calling it Dialga. And I had like a 10-year-old yell at me. It was awesome. He's like, bro, that's
funny.
Whatever, like whatever it's called right now. Though. It's not just Palkia. What is it? It's like origin form. Yeah, it's like
that's origin
that's
form
origin
Palkia.
Form Palkia, bro. And I was like, my bad. Roll your damn coin, kid.
Yeah, if it makes you feel better, I always get those two mixed up. They just don't have enough distinguishing traits to separate themselves and like, I don't know, make the name.
I guess,
tie
but
to the,
I feel like we should,
Pokemon.
right? Like it's like Palkia. It's the white one, right? Yeah.
It's kind of pink, but you know how like Alolan Vulpix and Vulpix are just red and white.
I can't wait to talk about that news on this week's pod, though.
But at the end of the day, they have the same name. That makes it really easy to remember them, where these two have very similar traits and differentiate in color and like somewhat body style stuff. And they have very different names, so it's like really
Makes
hard
sense.
to remember that kind of stuff. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for the MetaCall. If you're going to play a deck this weekend in Milwaukee, other than the deck you might actually play,
can't say. I joked on the Discord I was playing Mew, and everyone took me seriously. I was like, get out of here, people. I could get out of here.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I bagged
good.
on you too.
I'll keep what I'm playing. Literally my playing my deck has changed 500 times, but you gotta just play Palkia right now. It's I would play this, the thing we're talking about right now. I would play the Turbo Edition. If you want to see something to win now, because decks involve and stuff, and we counter stuff just like what happened with Mew. This is the time right now, just before NAIC. So, and that's when things are gonna get weird. I promise you. What about you? Yeah.
I tend to agree. If I'm gonna bring something this weekend, I'd probably play that fun. It's like Flying Pikachu with Crobat VMAX Arceus deck. It's got answers to two of the best decks in the format. Arceus makes everything wildly consistent, and the Flying Pikachu has a contingency against Regis, so why wouldn't you want to play something that has answers to the field while compromising a slight amount of consistency?
I honestly thought you were going to say Reggie, and I was like, respectable.
Nope. Reggie, leave that shit at home. I will Echoing Horn and Rapid Flow you till you die.
I'll scoop up that anyways, so I'll be just fine. I played a lot of Reggie over the weekend too. I kind of fell in love with it. I'm not going to play it, but it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I actually spent a lot of time with a bunch of different decks this week learning to navigate that list, and I am no longer concerned about it. It is pretty easy once you kind of understand the flow of the game.
I don't lose.
Be good. All right, I've been your host, Drew. And
I would say let your polls be in your favor, but enjoy. We'll see you Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun because we're prepping and everything that's going on for the Milwaukee weekend. So I'm pretty stoked. All right, deuces.
Sounds good. Deuces.